March 24th, 1998, 5:30 in the morning. A father steps out onto a cruise ship balcony. His daughter is asleep in a deck chair, right where he left her. He goes back inside, closes his eyes for 20 minutes. When he opens them again, the chair is empty. Her sandals are still there, sitting on the balcony floor. But Amy is gone. Not gone like she walked to the bathroom. Gone like she was never there at all. The ship searched every deck, every cabin, every lifeboat. The Coast Guard retraced 18 hours of ocean. They found nothing. No body, no struggle, no answer. Just an empty deck chair in the middle of the sea. Welcome to Echoes. I'm Alex. Before we get into this case, I want to tell you about Amy. She was 23, a former college athlete, the kind of daughter who still called her mom every week just to talk. She wasn't a headline. She was somebody's little sister, somebody's only daughter. That night, she was just doing what everyone does on a cruise, dancing until 3 a.m., laughing with her family, falling asleep under the stars. This is her story, and I think it's going to stay with you. Let's get into it. Amy Lynn Bradley grew up in Petersburg, Virginia. She was athletic, disciplined, the kind of person who set a goal and finished it. In high school, she played volleyball and basketball. In college, at Longwood, she played on a full athletic scholarship. By 1998, she was 23 years old, working at a marketing firm, living close to her parents. Close enough that when her father, Ron, suggested a family cruise, she said yes without thinking twice. The Bradleys booked passage on the Rhapsody of the Seas, a Royal Caribbean ship. Amy, her father, Ron, her mother, Eva, her older brother, Brad. 4 days, Curaçao, Aruba, the open Caribbean. For most of the trip, it was exactly what a family vacation should be. Amy and her brother went out most nights, dancing, drinking, meeting other passengers, the kind of easy, carefree nights you only get on a ship at sea. By the early morning hours of March 24th, the cruise had 1 day left. Amy and Brad came back to the family's cabin around 3 a.m. They sat out on the balcony together, talking, winding down. Brad went to bed first. Amy stayed outside a little longer. She fell asleep in a deck chair, under the stars, with the Caribbean moving quietly beneath her. It was the last time anyone in her family would ever see her. Ron Bradley couldn't sleep. Around 5:30 a.m., he stepped out onto the balcony to check on his daughter. Amy was right where she'd fallen asleep, curled up in the deck chair, peaceful. He didn't wake her. He went back inside, lay down, closed his eyes for what he thought would be a few minutes. When he woke up again, it was just after 6 a.m. He went back out to the balcony to check on her. The chair was empty. Her sandals were still sitting on the floor, exactly where she'd left them. At first, he thought maybe she'd gone back to her own cabin, or gone to get coffee, or gone to watch the sunrise from another deck. He checked. She wasn't in her cabin. He checked the pool deck, the buffet, the main areas of the ship. Nothing. By 6:30, the family was in a full panic. Ship security was notified. Then the captain. An announcement went out over the ship's speakers, asking Amy Bradley to please contact the front desk. No response. By mid-morning, the Rhapsody of the Seas had stopped. Nearly 2,400 passengers were told to stay in designated areas while crews searched every deck, every cabin, every lifeboat, every storage room. The U.S. Coast Guard was contacted. Helicopters and cutters began retracing the ship's path. Roughly 18 hours of open ocean, searching for any sign of a body in the water. They found nothing. Not a single trace. For a young woman who had simply fallen asleep on a balcony, Amy Lynn Bradley had vanished as if she'd never been there at all. The official theory from the very first day was simple. Amy must have fallen overboard, an accident, a tired young woman, half asleep, leaning too far over a balcony rail in the dark. It was the easiest explanation. It was also the one her family never believed. Ron Bradley had looked at that balcony rail himself. It came up to nearly his chest. Amy was 5'8", athletic, strong, sober enough to walk back to the cabin and talk with her brother for half an hour before falling asleep. For her to go over that rail, she would have had to climb it, on purpose, or be helped over it. There was another detail that never sat right. If Amy had fallen from that height, into open water, at cruising speed, the physics were brutal. Investigators and outside experts who reviewed the case later questioned whether a fall from that deck would even be survivable, and whether her body, if she had gone into the water, should have been found in the search area. It wasn't. No debris, no clothing, no physical evidence of any kind, anywhere on that ship suggesting a struggle, a fall, or a crime. Just an empty deck chair, and a family standing at the rail of a stopped ship, staring at an ocean that gave nothing back. The FBI opened an investigation. The case crossed into international waters and international jurisdiction, which meant answers, if they existed, were about to become even harder to find. Once the ship docked, investigators tried to reconstruct Amy's final hours. They pulled crew statements, passenger interviews, bar tabs, security logs. A few passengers remembered seeing Amy earlier that night, dancing, laughing, having a good time, nothing unusual. But there was a gap, a window of time between when her brother went to bed and when her father checked on her at 5:30 that no one could fully account for. Had someone approached her on that balcony? Cabin balconies on that deck were close together. Some investigators raised the possibility that someone could have climbed from a neighboring balcony onto hers. There was no forced entry, no sign of a break-in, no blood, which meant if something happened to Amy that night, it likely happened quickly, quietly, without a struggle loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. The ship's layout worked against the investigation too. Rhapsody of the Seas had crew and passengers from dozens of countries, cabin doors that could be accessed from connecting balconies, security cameras that, in 1998, covered only a fraction of the ship. The FBI would later say publicly that they did not believe Amy went overboard by accident, but without a body, without physical evidence, without a single witness who saw what happened after 3:30 a.m., the case stalled, and then, months later, something happened that changed the entire direction of the investigation. People started saying they'd seen her, alive. The first sighting came within days. A U.S. Navy sailor stationed in Curaçao told investigators he saw a young woman matching Amy's description in a bar known to be tied to the local sex trade. He said she had a new tattoo, a tattoo that matched one Amy had gotten weeks before the cruise. He said when he tried to approach her, two men quickly moved her away. The Bradley family flew to Curaçao themselves. They passed out flyers. They walked into bars most tourists never see. Another tip came from a tourist in Barbados who said she saw a woman who looked exactly like Amy, frightened, being led by two men who wouldn't let her speak. Then, years later, in 2005, photographs surfaced online. Photos on an adult website allegedly based in Curaçao, showing a woman investigators and Amy's family believed strongly resembled her. The FBI investigated the images. The site was tied to individuals across multiple countries, making prosecution and confirmation extraordinarily difficult. Over the following years, more tips came in: a woman in Trinidad, a woman in the Netherlands, a trucker who said a woman covered in bruises begged him for help at a truck stop saying her name was Amy before being pulled away. None of it was ever definitively confirmed. none of it was ever definitively ruled out. The FBI has never closed this case. To this day, it remains classified as an open investigation, one of the few missing persons cases in U.S. history where investigators have publicly acknowledged the working theory of human trafficking. Theories. There are 3 theories that have followed this case for over 2 decades. Theory 1, the official one. Amy climbed onto the balcony rail herself and fell. An accident, in the dark, after a long night. Her family has spent 25 years rejecting this theory outright. The rail height, her sobriety, her strength, none of it fits an accidental fall. Theory 2, she was taken from the balcony that night, grabbed quickly, quietly, and moved off the ship before it ever reached port, possibly by someone already connected to trafficking networks known to operate near Caribbean ports in the 1990s. Theory 3, the one her family has spent the most time chasing, that Amy was taken specifically to be trafficked, that the sightings in Curaçao, the tattoo, the photographs in 2005 were not coincidence, but confirmation, that somewhere, for some period of time, or perhaps still, Amy Lynn Bradley was alive. The Bradley family has never stopped searching. They created a foundation in Amy's name. They've worked with the FBI, Interpol, and anti-trafficking organizations for over 2 decades. They still believe she could be found. What stays with me about Amy's case is the sandals, that small, ordinary detail, sitting there on an empty balcony, exactly where she left them, because it means she didn't run, she didn't jump, she didn't walk away on her own. Something happened in the space of 20 minutes, on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and it happened so quietly that not one person heard a thing. Her family has spent 25 years walking into bars in foreign countries, looking at strangers' faces, wondering if today is the day. That's not closure. That's a life spent in a doorway, waiting for someone to walk through it. I hope, someday, they get their answer. If you have any information about Amy Lynn Bradley, the FBI and the Bradley family are still asking for tips, even now, more than 25 years later. You can find current contact information through the FBI's official missing persons page or through the Amy Bradley search organization started by her family. Every tip is still reviewed. This case has never been closed. If this case stayed with you, leave a comment. Tell me what you think happened to Amy that night. Share this video with someone who needs to hear her story, and hit subscribe, because next week, I have something waiting for you. A case that has stayed with me for a long time. I think it's going to stay with you too. This case is not closed, and neither is the next one. I'll see you next week. The silence is always louder than you think.